We can chew gum and walk at the same time. It's not that we are all things to all people, we are ourselves to all people. It's not like by being in the BRICS or being in SCO, you are necessarily sort of turning your back on your other relationship.
India's multilateral membership explained by S. Jaishankar. While addressing an audience in New York on September 26, 2024, External Affairs Minister Dr. S. Jaishankar responded to questions about India's simultaneous membership in Quad, BRICS and SCO with a cryptic yet impactful statement. Let's listen in to what he said.
Just stepping back to the Quad, which you mentioned, and your overall remarks about the emergence of more both regionalism and multipolarity, I wrestle with what seems, to me at least, as something of a conundrum of India's simultaneous active membership in both the Quad and the BRICS, and for that matter, the Shanghai Cooperation Organization.
We can chew gum and walk at the same time.
All right, but can you be all things to all people and all regions? Does that really work?
Look, it's not that we are all things to all people, we are ourselves to all people. And the idea that countries must operate in a particular context or a particular structure, that's a very post-45 Cold War-ish idea. Times have moved on. So there are today a lot of countries who feel that their freedom of choice, their operational flexibility should not be constrained because their interests are much more complicated and much more diverse than the binary picture which the Cold War era represented. So certainly this, what I say applies to India, but look at the BRICS. You have today countries like UAE or Egypt or Saudi Arabia. Now, these are countries which have had strong relations with the West, still have strong relations with the West. So it's not like by being in the BRICS or being in SCO, you are necessarily sort of turning your back on your other relationships. I think it is that ability to operate in multiple contexts and multiple spaces, and that to me is a characteristic of the current era.
Well, can you help us understand a little bit about what India gets, what benefits accrue to India from participation in the Quad or participation in the BRICS or the SCO? Is it the same? Are these substantially different? And which of these, do some of these represent the future and some of them represent the past?
No, look, I think all of them represent the future, partly because I think I'm myself part of the future. So you're kind of growing with that. If you look at the Quad, you have 4 countries. They're all market economies. They're all political democracies. They're all pluralistic societies. They also are all maritime powers. And they have a common interest in dealing with the Indo-Pacific in a certain way. They have that ability to cooperate and communicate with each other, work with each other, and carry other countries along with them. So we see this in a way as a non-treaty way of working with countries. I would argue that perhaps this is the future, that the era of arguing over who's paying who, what share and is that fair. You don't have those arguments in the Quad. So you don't have those arguments because everybody is doing, what they think is right, and there's a kind of a sort of understanding about it. In the case of the BRICS, it has a different history. It's a history of an era where Western dominance on the global order was very much more. And so you had really a collection of non-Western countries who felt they weren't getting a fair hearing in the overall scheme of things, and that by getting together on issues on which their interests overlapped, they would be able to make their voices more strongly felt. And I think it's also served its purpose. So to me, each one is a different facet of I'm now talking again from my perspective, a different facet of our interests and our activities. So I wouldn't compare them because I think they have different histories, different composition, often different themes. The SCO again has the history. It's more Eurasian. It was focused much more on countering radicalism, terrorism. That's where it began. And today it's perhaps evolved into something more. So for us to have this range of options, combination of partners working multiple agendas at the same time, that's how it's going to go.
Jaishankar's remarks reflect India's commitment to balancing its interest while engaging with various geopolitical alliances, showcasing the nation's growing influence on the world stage. This is all for now. Stay tuned to Jagran English for more such news and updates.